Welcome! Today we're talking about 4 Scrum Master challenges. This is part 3 in a series on helping Scrum Masters, Agile facilitators, managers, and coaches be more effective with their team. Hit that like button, it really helps my channel grow and expand to others. Let's get to it. Number 1, lack of Agile training for the team. Often when a Scrum Master is brought into the team is unaware or has very little to no experience with Agile. First thing, identify where their skill gaps are, their understanding gaps, in what you're trying to accomplish if you're doing Scrum or Kanban or extreme programming, whatever you're doing in terms of facilitating the team, and then start training them. Start with the team, train them on the basic mindset and thinking of Agile, where it came from, like the manifesto, and then move on to the tools, techniques, and practices. And secondly, once you've started training the team and coaching the team, the next part would be to coach and expand that out to those around the team. Management, stakeholders, other teams. Number 2, lack of understanding between those doing and those around those people. As a Scrum Master, your job is to help elevate and to grow the understanding, the experience, and the abilities of the team to get things done at higher levels of quality, excellence, and obviously achieving the ultimate goal, having happy customers. Often those around the team really don't understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. So the advice I would give you is to start having conversation with those around them. Invite them in to observe one of the Agile ceremonies and meetings. Invite them to discuss in a way that actually connects what you're doing to what they're doing. And then start expanding it out to offer trainings and small individually or small group focused training activities that can slowly encourage them to try, to experience, and to learn a bit about what Agile is really about. Secondly, when you're doing these trainings and these sessions, make sure to avoid using Agile terms such as product backlog or burn down charts. Instead, use terms that they would understand. A list of items that are prioritized, or a way to track as we're approaching the goal if we're actually making progress the way we hope to. As you use commonly understood terms and concepts, over time you can actually expand that out where you explain the common concept and then connect it to an Agile concept. Number 3, lack of time boxing for Agile meetings. Often when a Scrum Master is working with the team and those around the team, one of the duties is to help the team be effective in their meetings and ceremonies. So for example, if you're running the daily stand-up or daily Scrum, often that's time boxed to 15 minutes or less or 30 minutes or less. And the purpose of that is to achieve the outcome, the desired goal after every meeting. Unfortunately, when you end up having many people around it or new people to this experience, they often will derail it by bringing up new topics, things that don't connect to what you're doing, and that can cause a lot of harm. The advice I would give you is to start with one single meeting, maybe the daily stand-up, or maybe a backlog refinement meeting, or maybe a planning meeting, and get the team to commit to holding that meeting within the time box to achieve the stated goal. So if it's a daily Scrum, the idea would be for the entire team to understand where everybody's at and any blockers we have for us to achieve the goal of that day. Once you've done that, the second piece of advice would be to expand slowly out to other meetings and ceremonies. So over time, each of the meetings and the entirety of the Agile meetings allows for everybody to focus, get the work done, and if they have other things to do, they can do them after the fact. Number 4, inability to manage scope. As a Scrum Master, product owner, Agile facilitator, or Agile coach, often you are tasked with or encouraged to support and help others manage the requests that are coming into the team. So when a team first turns into an Agile team, they start taking on the mindset, the thinking, the principles, the values, the practices. There's a lot here to do. I recommend that you watch my video that talks about what Agile is. Link in the description. You will have to face many requests. Now in Scrum, if we're talking about a Scrum Master and a Scrum team. In Scrum, the product owner is the one that's tasked with and is given the responsibility to manage those requests and to manage the list of work called the product backlog, keeping it prioritized and keeping it visible for everyone to know what's going on. Unfortunately, these requests can come at many times through many people in many ways. So it can be through emails and messages or through any kind of documentation they may have. It could come through the product owner, or it could come through many other people. It could show up in different meetings, in different conversations. It could be just off the cuff, or it could be something planned. All these different things can cause a lot of churn and disruption and make it really difficult to manage the scope well. The advice I give you is to work with your product owner and see each other as partners in this work to actually improve the ability of the team to be effective, productive, and increase their quality of excellence each sprint, each cycle, each release. The second piece of advice is, now that you're working in partnership with the product owner or agile coach or facilitator, you actually want to work together to actually manage the requests in some effective way. I would recommend that each time someone requests work into your team, you actually have a list of 2, 3, 4, 5 things in terms of what is needed to make sure that the request is considered good enough so you can look at it and then make a decision around priority. So maybe it's, does it hit the goal we're trying to do for the next release? If it does, then it can come into that release, and then the product owner and Scrum Master can have a conversation on priority. If it doesn't, then you can push it back and say, I'm sorry, it doesn't fit in this release, but we can have that discussion later if you'd like, or put it further down in the backlog of lists of things we want to do. That way, there's a common understanding, and you make it explicit that everybody understands what needs to happen for any request to come in and considered good enough that it could be prioritized. I hope you enjoyed this video around these 4 Scrum Master challenges that are commonly faced by Scrum Masters, product owners, coaches, facilitators, even managers. Because this job is hard. This work is hard. Trying to actually improve the way we work and be supported by everybody else, this is hard. Take the advice, try it out. Let me know in the comments what you think. What challenges have you faced? Hit that like button and subscribe to my channel as I bring in a new video each Monday to help you improve as a manager, as a professional in the agile space, and just being great at who you are. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week.